Thanks for tuning into Electric Bike Journal. Today's review is on the Blaupunkt Fiete electric folding bike. This is a Class 2 electric bike with throttle and pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour. A cool aspect of this bike is the frame, which is a single die-cast magnesium frame. It has a 36-volt, 10.5 amp-hour battery with an integrated battery management system. This powers the 36-volt, 350-watt rear hub motor that can produce up to 50 newton-meters of torque. The whole bike is also UL certified, and it uses a cadence and a speed sensor. It has 20-inch magnesium wheels, front and back, with 2.125-inch tires. This uses a Shimano 6-speed drivetrain and has hydraulic disc brakes, front and rear. The LCD display is what you use to power on the bike, and it shows you information like speed, trip meter, and battery level. This bike also has a removable battery that you can remove from the back of the bike with the key. The charging time on this bike is between 4 and 6 hours. The Fiete comes in weighing 47 pounds and it has a max rider weight of 265 pounds. The estimated range is 44 miles and it has a price tag of $1,599. There are a lot of things that we liked about the Blaupunkt Fiete. It is a neat little folding electric bike. One thing that we noticed when we first got the bike is the overall weight of the bike. Other electric bikes that we have tested that are foldable tend to be pretty heavy, which in our opinion kind of defeat the purpose of having a very small packable foldable bike. This coming in at 47 pounds, you can fold it up pretty easily with just a few of the joints that they have on there, and then you can pick it up. It really isn't that hard for many people to lift up. Right away, we also noticed that this bike is a very well-made frame. The single die-cast magnesium frame is a bit different than a lot of the other folding bikes out there. When you do get up close to this bike, you can see that this bike is finished very nicely overall. Folding and unfolding this bike is also easy in just a few steps. There's also a rollerblade wheel on the bottom part near the bottom bracket so that you can store this bike easier and push it around a little bit. There's also an option to get a carrying case for when this bike is folded up, and it has wheels on there. So when you do pack it in that case, it is a lot more transportable, and that case has wheels on it, so you can bring this bike with you a lot easier. Again, with the weight of the bike at 47 pounds, it does get fairly small as well, so you can easily put this in the back of a car, added with that carrying case, and you can bring it a lot of places. This bike is also pretty quick for its size, and it can get up to speed fairly quick, even though it just has a 350-watt rear hub motor. We don't think this bike is intended for going super fast, as it does have these 20-inch wheels on here, but if you do need to get up to 20 miles per hour, it is definitely doable. The entire bike is also UL certified, so if you do live in a city that requires you to have a UL certified bike, you have peace of mind that this bike is good for you. That is also very important since this bike is very small and compact, and you may be bringing this with you a lot more places, that you know this bike has been tested to those UL certifications. This bike also handles pretty well for its size. It doesn't have adjustable height bar or stem, so you do have that one lock position, but being 5'8", I found that pretty comfortable, and I did have other taller people ride this bike and they had no complaints about it. This bike also comes with the front and rear fender, so if it does get a little wet out there, it does help you stay a bit cleaner. There really wasn't much that we didn't like about this bike. One thing that we did notice when we were riding is that the pedals, since they are foldable pedals to make this bike more compact, they do have a bit of flex if you kind of stand up to pedal hard when you're going up a hill or want to go faster. That just comes with the territory of having these foldable pedals. It does make the bike a lot more compact when you close it, but you lose a bit of rigidity in those pedals. That is easy to switch out if you don't plan on folding this bike up often. You could put solid pedals on there, and that will really help with the flex in the pedals. Just another little thing with this bike is that where the battery goes on the back of the bike, it is just a rubber flap that kind of pressure holds onto a bolt in the back. It isn't a super solid enclosure, so did get some dust in there when we did ride on some fire roads and some dirtier, dustier areas. It would be nice if that was fully enclosed. That way you would keep some dust out of that area. But if you're really just going to be riding this in the street and planning on taking this inside where you want to take the battery in and out a lot more often, it is nice to have that rubber flap because it is a very quick access to get that battery out with the key. The Blaupunkt Fiete is really an ideal folding electric bike. coming in at 47 pounds. This is fairly easy for most people to lift up, especially when it is in that smaller folded compact position. Talking to the team at Blaupunkt, this was something that we have really never thought of. This bike has been a favorite of pilots that fly smaller planes. Sometimes they have to park pretty far out on the runway and they don't want to have to walk all the way back, so they would bring this bike coming in at 47 pounds. Isn't too heavy, so it doesn't affect the weight of the plane too much, and it just makes the access to getting to the plane a lot quicker. Let's take you on a ride to give you a little bit of on-bike riding experience. Out on a ride on the Blaupunkt Fiete, give you a little riding experience. Right now, I started with the bike off. Just got a little bit of a rolling hill, but it's got a fairly big gear in the back, so it does all right going up. I'm going 7 miles per hour now, so could go faster by just putting it into pedal assist 1. Right away, you get a little boost up to about 10.5 miles an hour, and that is where pedal assist 1 will stop you. Let me coast down this hill. And for being a smaller bike, it does handle pretty well. I wouldn't want to bomb down some giant hills on this, just because the smaller wheel size. I've gone pretty quick on it though, and it did handle well. And even on this little hill right here, sure, we'll get close, just coasting to 25 miles an hour. And yeah, easily. 26. I looked down and saw, which is pretty good for a bike with tiny wheels just like this one. So still keeping it in pedal assist 1 here. And really does kind of max you out at 10.5 miles an hour. So we'll get into 2. We're in this little rolling hill section, so let's see how it does. Well, 2 right here, that little hill. About 13.5, so you get 3 more miles per hour in pedal assist 2. We'll get this in 3, and you feel that 350 watt motor actually kick in pretty good. And that gets us to 20 pretty fast. And it does have a cadence sensor, so you don't have to pedal super hard to get the bike going. But all right, we got a bit of a hill, so struggling a little bit, going 15 now. Still a good pace for going up a hill. But as it's leveling out, getting closer to that 20 miles per hour, just like that. Pedal assist 3 up to 20 miles per hour easily in the flats. It does have a throttle, so if you hold that throttle, stop pedaling, and holding that throttle in, even with a bit of a headwind, keeping us at 20 miles an hour. So pretty quick for a small bike, that's for sure. Got to a fairly decent hill, I would call it, for a bike of this size with the tiny tires. And I have it in the easiest gear, 1 out of 6. And I'm working for it, going 6 miles an hour. So I have noticed with these pedals is that they are folding pedals, so you can make it pretty compact. So if you kind of get out of the saddle to pedal a bit, you feel them flex. So you will lose some efficiency if you do that. But pedal assist 1, getting us moving up this hill from 6 to 10 miles an hour and letting the heart rate go down a little bit. Because I was working a decent amount to get up that little section with no pedal assist. So 10, get into 2, Like I said, cadence sensor, so just got to soft pedal a bit. But 2 up this hill, just 12. So we'll get up to 3. And that is, if you're trying to race uphill, definitely get that in 3. 15 miles an hour, solid up that little section. And it's nice, this has the throttle. So when you are at a stop sign, twist that throttle and you can get it going, then start pedaling. It's nice to get away from a stop sign quickly if you need to, and then continue pedaling. But yeah, for such a small bike, it handles pretty well. It's nice that the front wheel isn't too far into the handlebars, so there is, you can see that down there. You can see the front wheel isn't just right underneath there, so it's not too twitchy. If you have a bike you're sitting right over that front wheel, it's gonna feel pretty twitchy when you get up to those higher speeds. If you do have a flat, slightly downhill section, this bike coasts pretty well for having the small tires. I mean, you're not gonna roll as far with a 700C, like a 700C wheel set, but trying to save some efficiency going down a little hill, just turn the bike off, let gravity do its thing. And I mean, we could put it in pedal assist 3 to get us to 20 miles an hour, or we can just save some battery and just coast. And coasting at 19 miles an hour here, it doesn't feel scary. I've ridden some bikes with the smaller wheels that you wouldn't want to be going this fast on a bumpier road, but this thing does a good job. Cool frame design with that die-cast magnesium frame. You don't see magnesium bikes that often, but every now and then you'll see one, so it's neat to see a company like Blaupunkt do something different and make a magnesium frame bike, and the wheels as well. All right, I've got the steep hill that I like to test the bikes on coming up. 15% grade at some point, so just because I know this bike's a little harder to pedal without the pedal assist, I'm gonna put it in 1 to start off with. Got to the stop sign, use the throttle to get going a bit, and just soft pedaling in the easiest gear, but I am putting some pressure down on the pedals, and we're only hitting about 9 right now, so just dropping under 9 to 8.5. So let's get into 2. And this is a steep hill. So 2, as it got steeper, getting us closer to 10. All right, we'll go into 3. 3, as we're peeking out towards the top, getting a little quicker, but just over 10. So that's using a lot of the torque out of that rear hub motor, and probably a lot of battery because that's a steep hill, but we made it. So this can do the steep stuff, but you're gonna want to be in the higher pedal assist mode for sure, which is going to drain the battery a bit quicker than if you're just cruising on the flats. But good to know that I can do it. Thank you for watching this video on the Blaupunkt Fiete. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Helps us grow and keep on producing videos just like this one.